Hey, Ariana.
Hi, nice to speak to you both again. I haven't talked to either of you since season two.
You look familiar.
Right. So, Miles, what was your reaction when you were asked back? Was it always the plan for you to come back?
Was it? You know, no, it was amazing. Just hearing the news, just to come back and experience everything that I've experienced in the past 2 seasons, being with these cats on set. Like I said before, it was a family reunion every time, right? So seeing my family again, I couldn't ask for anything more, anything better.
Yeah. Da Vinci, how does Terry feel about Markeisha now, especially how she wants to be independent, um, and have a solo part of the game? And how has his feelings also have changed for LaWanda?
I think Terry hates the idea of Markeisha coming into the business at first. I think he sees no value in that, and it can only be harm that comes out of it. She could just potentially become another enemy, and I think slowly Markeisha maybe have the ability to persuade him and come in with gems that maybe he can be like, this could work, or he's like, nah, this is not gonna work. And so I think he's skeptical and he's scared and he doesn't like it. And for LaWanda, he knows LaWanda is a rider. I think LaWanda, she's so loyal to a fault, and she just have his back. And even though he's doing all the foolishness that he's doing, she has a way of like being like, I'm still gonna ride with you and protect you because we have this family that we gotta protect.
Yeah. Miles, it feels like B-Mickie has different feelings for different Flenorys. How would you describe his feelings, let's say, for Lucille and Charles versus Miles and Meech and Terry? Because it feels like him and Terry definitely still have issues compared to how he feels about Meech and then even Lucille and Charles.
Um, I feel like, yeah, there's different objectives on on why B Mickey wants to have relationships with Terry and Meech's family, specifically, parents, you know, in contrast to having a relationship with Meech and Terry, his objective mainly, is to, have some ownership or have some claim of control within the organization that they have going on, to have insight on where they're going to be, what's going on, and that might play into effect on why he's doing what he's doing. And you'll probably see later on into the season. And then also on the other end of the stick, B. Mickey understands that there is a soft spot to every giant, right? And that soft spot is Meech and Terry's family, specifically mom and father. Even with not seeing him a lot, he knows that if he can get in tune with them, then I'm closer to the goal. And then some. He gains energy off of that. Lucille is now a known figure in the church now. With a bigger position. Charles now not really having a son there all the time. He plays into that role for B Mickey, and B Mickey knows this. So he's very smart, very, what I'm saying, tactical and, what I'm saying, strategical within this season. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Da Vinci, Meech and Terry are not in a good place. And if you think about it, were they ever like in a great place? Like they've always had this sibling rivalry. Why do you think, what do you think is their biggest difference? And why do you think there is such a divide between them during this season, especially because Meech now thinks that he is a god?
Yeah, I think it's that right there. It's exactly what you just said. Meech really thinks he's a god now because of the whatever religion thing that he was believing in, and the blood sacrifices, the chicken stuff. It's like I feel like T is like, you done really lost your marbles now. We did not grow up in this type of stuff. We grew up Christian based. We don't do this stuff. And Nietzsche is like, it's fueling his ego. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be that. And then I think that's just it's just the icing on the cake. It's the straw that broke the camel's back. And that's what really caused him to just go their separate ways.
Yeah. Myles, do you think B-Mickie misses life? We see one of the reasons that he comes back in, but do you think he also misses the life? And do you think there's actually ever going to be a stopping point where he doesn't thirst for the streets, for lack of a better term?
I don't feel like he necessarily misses the life. I feel like that feeling has come and gone for him. um through the time period of him just not being there. He's had time to think and reminisce and reflect on the past things that he's been through and what he could have experienced if he was still there. I feel like his main objective now mainly is, I mean, I don't want to say too much. I mean, have you watched it already or?
1 through 8, so I know a lot.
Okay, so yeah, I feel like his main objective now is, revenge. It's get back. But it's unfortunate that he loses himself in that and forgets his family. And it just goes to show like how like fixated he was on one thing just because of what he went through, and past traumas. I don't even think he had a family because he, just wanted a family. I think he wanted the family because of what he could have had, and now it still can't suffice for that. So what do I do? I'm going to get the person that took everything from me, and I'm going to take everything from you, you know. So.
Yeah. Eventually we kind of start seeing that Terry has his own biases, whether it be gambling or even eating. Why do you think yeah, they keep mentioning that he keeps eating? Um,
Yeah.
why why do you think he is starting to have these vices and them starting to pick up? Is it because it's often mentioned by everyone that Meech is the favorite, whether in the family, whether in the business? Do you think it's just starting to eat at him? No pun intended.
It's played on words too. Is it even?
Yes.
I know. I'm so sorry. They were just the hotel people were just knocking on the door. But no, I think it's just he's just under high levels of stress, and usually when you're under high levels of stress, you find coping mechanisms that are harmful to the body. So I think the reason why there's this theme of him eating and finding different vices is because just the level of stress and pressure that they're under is not it's not normal, it's not normal to feel that way. And naturally, what you're going to do as a human when you're involved in a business that, creates this type of paranoia, these pressures, and this, I can't trust this person, I can't trust this person, whatever, you're gonna revert to something. You're gonna go to something, And some people are splurging, is doing drugs, is getting a bunch of women and just doing whatever. And other people is like, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna do this, and someone's gambling, So yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Congrats on this season. I can't wait to talk to you about this again and future projects.
Absolutely, it's great seeing you again, Ariana.
Oh, thank you so much. Talk to you guys soon.
All right,
Okay.
good one.